Yeah.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Book Club with Bay. I am Bay, and this is Bay. Say hi, Bay.
Hi, Bay.
And this is other Bay. Say hi, Bay.
Hello.
And today we were talking about Reckoning, the last book in the Strange Angel series by Lily St. Croix. So, I guess we shall start it off how we always started off, with ratings. I don't know how to rate other than like...
So I don't know how to rate this.
Okay. I got this. Because this is a mess.
A lot happens. A lot really does happen.
So it's a lot happening and it's a mess.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Hibachi Gone Horribly Wrong.
Oh, that's what you guys call teppanyaki. Okay, sorry. I'm like, what the fuck is hibachi again? I know it. Teppanyaki. Okay. For our Australian viewers.
Yes.
I am going to go with not Red Bull Zero, because like it's still not great as good as normal Red Bull, but it's less calories. I'm gonna go with sugar-free Red Bull. So that's a fuck. Like it's still got all of your taurine and caffeine and guarana and all that good stuff in it. However, it is delivered to you in the foulest tasting shit you will ever put in your mouth.
I guess I'll go somewhere in between the two of these, because like right before we jumped on here, I was like, I have no idea what my rating is. Because like there's moments that I like. There's moments that I'm like, fuck yeah, like let's fucking go, and there's moments where I'm like, So yeah, I think I'll agree with either party, because I'm just. It'll be very obvious as we go through this.
So your rating is agree.
My rating is agree.
Her rating
I will
is
participate
yes.
in both of these meals.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, real quick before we get started, are there any characters we think we need to mention, or are we good?
I think everyone's a repeat.
But there is one thing I do want to address. Last stream, you said that Wolfie Girl is a lesbian, and no, she's not.
Okay, do you want to know why? Because I wrote this down in my notes. Because when I was like reading through this, like I think like the stream before last, I saw the lesbian joke, and I was like,
"Oh, she's gay.
Is she a lesbian?" And so I didn't read that scene fully, so that's why I was like, I think she's a lesbian, but she's not.
I was waiting for it, and then when she was like, "So have you two gone on a date yet?" She was like, "Yeah, but it's how it goes. We'll see how it goes." And I was like, "Okay, I'm still waiting." And then the joke happened. I'm like, Addie.
That's where my brain.
I suspected that's what happened. That's what happened.
Yeah, like I was like just skim reading, because I was like, "Where's Graves? What's happening with Graves?"
And it is 100% confirmed. We did not learn Drew's full name.
Nope.
For no fucking reason.
Yeah. There should have been.
I feel like the author just doesn't know.
There should have been a like. You're getting called out in the chat, by the way, TJ.
Hello.
There should have been like, I think like a novella to just kind of solidify the very loose end of the romance plot.
Honestly, okay.
Just something. We need something.
Or, the epilogue shouldn't be, or it could have been the epilogue, because do you know what the epilogue actually was? It was
Nothing.
The last chapter.
Yes.
There's no reason for that to be epilogued.
I agree. Like there should have just been something that just solidified that romance plot that's been in the book for 5 books.
Yeah, like that's why I was about to feel, like that's kind of the thing, right? Like if you're gonna end a series, like
solidify your fucking love triangle.
You should end it, because
I mean she kind of solidified the love triangle. I'll give her that. But she didn't like bring.
And I think
an axe.
For one, okay, the first thing is like number one. don't make such a big deal out of her full name if you're not going to tell us what it is.
Also true.
Secondly, or like it needs to be some kind of a thing if you're not going to tell us what it is. Like it needs to be some sort of like theming that makes sense. Like there's a reason that she gives up her name.
Like if she had told Graves when
Hmm.
when the whole Graves situation happens, when he asks about it, if she had told him, that would have made. Or if the epilogue was instead of her and Nat hanging out, was Graves coming back. I think
back.
it was another stream where it's like, yeah, Graves just.
And then
it ended with him coming back and being like, "So what's your full name, bitch?" And she's like, "I love you. Let's be together for the rest of our lives." Because that's what would have made sense for.
But there needs to be
epilogue.
like some reason for us, the audience, not knowing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like.
Exactly.
There needs to be like some thematic reason, or else it's just fucking dumb. The other thing is like, you know, it can work if you have like the main characters like together but not together at the end. That can work, I think. But in a book series where half the plot was spent with her being like, "Will I, won't I?" Fuck off.
Then the fact that it doesn't like it insinuates that her and Graves end up together, but it doesn't actually show them end up together, which is bullshit.
I also think that this is a genre issue because you have to think of like the genre that you're writing in, and I think this is something that
be satisfied with that ending.
Well, this is like that's my thing is like I think you could do that in almost any other genre other than like YA paranormal fucking romance, you know?
Yeah, there's no confirmation online about her real name. Everyone's like, it's probably Andrew or Drusilla.
I think it's probably Drusilla. Because one, it's a vampire name. And two, what else could it fucking be?
Or it's also, just Drew.
Yeah, or her name's just Drew.
No, because she had the internal thought of she hates her full name.
I know, but it's bullshit. She had that thought in book 1, and then it was not mentioned for books.
I know, but we got reminded this book that Graves still has a monobrow.
Did we?
We have had that reminder in a few books, yeah.
I don't remember reading that book. Because the entire time she sees Graves, she's like, I'm either irritated about the fact that he won't be my boyfriend, or wow, he's attractive. I want to be his girlfriend.
Yeah, no, it's I think it's in the first third of the book. I can't remember where exactly, but she was like, because she mentioned something about his eyebrows, and then she said, "Oh, eyebrow," because no one's held him down and forcibly plucked him yet.
Oh yes, that makes sense. I don't know.
And
it's just...
yeah, no, and
honestly, I don't know how I feel about forcibly plucking people.
Oh, it's fine. I do it.
Yeah, it's fine. I've witnessed it many times. I've done it quite a few times.
Like Stixie doesn't have like a monobrow, but he's got like a few.
Yeah. Same with my boyfriend. But I'm just like
although the biggest thing with Stixie is I forcibly squeeze him. And he hates it. Unless he's got a really bad pimple or something, then he'll be like, "Can you please do a thing?" It like hurts him because he gets him on his back, and it's a really bad one. It actually hurts for him to move. So I have to get rid of that. But in general, I'm just like, please let me climb on his back, lift his shirt up, and hold him down, and then I get yelled at. He hates it. And bribing doesn't work. I'm like, but I'll trade you. And he's like, no. On my birthday, I get 5 squeezes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's...
Last birthday was a disappointment, though, because there was almost nothing. And I was like, no. But, yeah, no, I think that with, oh, that's what I was going to say. Freaking, I sent you guys a rant. So 22 minutes into the audiobook. 22 minutes in. We got yet another reminder. Brew does not have an accent. Yankees have the accents. Her voice is normal.
That's not how that works.
In chapter 2, there was an argument about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and she was like, and it's not my fault that the Yankees can't taste their words and they cut them off nice and crisp sounding.
Yeah, that was the chapter 2 argument.
And I'm like, and then when they go to like grandma's house or whatever, I get that they're in the middle of Hicksville, but she's also like, no one else is allowed to speak because you will be like drawn and quartered for having a gut.
Yes,
like, for not speaking to people.
Lord.
And I'm like, now, I've never been to the US. I've never been to the middle of backwoods, like South area. I don't know what state they were in. Don't know.
Yeah, TJ, it's where I used to live. Is it not?
It is.
Like north of where I used to live.
Yeah.
But okay, you see a bunch of teenage kids, right? One of whom has a southern accent, because you have an accent, Drew, okay? Everyone has an accent.
That's what's so weird about it is, like, I know we said this last time, but God, like, no Southerner ever is like, I don't have an accent.
Yeah, and I don't have a drawl. She even says, like, it starts out because Graves is like, I love your Southern drawl, or like, you get mad, your drawl comes out or something. She's like, I don't have an accent. I don't drawl. This is just how people are supposed to speak, and everyone else speaks incorrectly.
Nobody thinks that. But
in small towns, right, in the South, like small mountain towns, would they hear like a 17-year-old kid talk with a non-Southern accent and go, we must kill you?
No,
they'll think you're a tourist. That's it.
Or they'll just think that you're not from there. That's it.
Yeah.
But like, especially like considering like they're with a Drew who has the accent of the people. Like it's like, oh, she has friends visiting. Done.
Yeah, like I was about to say, like, don't get me wrong. Like if they had Graves with them, Graves would get some weird fucking looks. Don't get me wrong. He would. But like no one would go out of their way to be like must draw on quarter.
Correct me if I'm incorrect, right? But unless you actually do something, like say something or have like some big giant thing on your car saying like, hey, I'm better than you, or like you think you're better than them or whatever. I'm pretty sure it'd be the same there as it is here. People in small towns, you know, more remote, like they're generally pretty friendly.
They can be a little scary because they're on meth, but like,
as long as you stay out of the meth heads, like just don't go to the trailer parks and you'll be fine.
Yeah, like I mean, like unless you walked up to them and said, "Hey, like I think you're a redneck hoe" type thing, like they, like if you're just like, "Hey, do you know where I can get some food?" They'd be like, "Yeah, like insert really
as long as
accent,
you don't
it's down the road and around the corner."
Like, as long as you don't bring up any sensitive Southern issues, like you're gonna be fucking fine.
Like they may like. I think we discussed this last time because we looked up where the author was from and where she lived, but it is very clear that she has not spent a day in the South. I haven't spent a day in the South, and I haven't spent a day in the country, and I feel like I have a better idea of what bumpkins in the South are like.
Yep. Probably.
Like, I don't get it. The South are lovely folk, okay? It's fine.
Yeah, we're fine. We're fine people.
If what I know about the world is true, people generally think that we're nicer than Northerners. So like, I don't know.
Southern hospitality.
Unless it comes to race issues.
Yes. Yes. And then Southerners are horrible people that should be exterminated. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, depending on the conversation.
Yeah.
You guys fought to keep your slaves, apparently. I said apparently. I know it's not true. But anyway, back to the book.
Yeah, we haven't even started chapter 1, technically. Okay.
Technically, no.
Chapter 1,
yeah, the last
car.
Yeah, I was lost for a minute because the last book, for whatever reason, I didn't read the last chapter of them being in a motel room.
Yeah, of her, Graves, and Ash.
I thought that they were at school, like back at the school, and
they ran away.
So yeah, but it didn't that bit didn't register when I was listening to it. So I was like, what's happening? When this and then I clicked, I was like, oh, they must have been in a motel room. My bad.
Yep, they were, and now they're yeeting all around the country. We go to a lot. We even go to Atlanta. It's great. There's a good chunk of plot in Atlanta, which I was like, which also this irritated me, and I don't know if TJ noticed this as well, but like as she's leaving Atlanta, she calls out interstate names, right? Those interstates don't exist. And it pissed me off to no fucking end. Because she said like 75 to 86. I was like, no, you're talking about 75 to 85, and you're going to go on 20, and you're going to go on 10 to go to fucking Texas. That's how you go to Texas, you stupid whore. Do your research. It's called a map.
Yeah, like, okay. There
You
are
don't even have to get on 75, 85. You just go straight on to 20.
Like, there are some things you can forgive. Like, you know, like, they don't know, like, you know, they mention, like, a shopping mall or something like that. And then they mention that there's something across the road. And, you know, in reality, okay, if they're talking about that mall, there is not that across the road. You can forgive that, though.
Which is fine.
But when it comes to, because, you know, like, one, like, you know, you got to let your authors take liberties. And two, like, sometimes it's just how book writing goes. You need there to be a cemetery across the road from the mall, okay? Even though there's not one. Okay? You can forgive that. But when it comes to, if you're going to use a real city in a real country and start naming highways, you best be using the highways. Especially when
it made me so, because like I went,
like, literally all he had to do, right, was go Google Maps. Hi, Google Maps. How do I get from Atlanta to Houston? And then you go view route, and then the route comes up and says you take this highway to this highway.
It takes so much more than 14 hours to go in one trip. You know how long it takes?
From Atlanta to Houston? Oh my God, that's right.
It takes 14 hours to get from Atlanta to Lake Charles, Louisiana, which is only an hour away from the Texas state line. Houston
is something like, isn't Houston almost like 20? No, it's not 24 hours away, but it's what?
20, probably.
Yeah.
My estimate.
It's got to be like 18 to 20 hours away.
Wait, okay.
I'm in Atlanta right now. I got this.
Just for a sec. Houston. Taking into account the fact that these books were a while ago, so like it was actually probably a bit slower back then. It currently takes 11 and a half hours.
Yeah, I was about to say she's actually right. She's actually right. No, she is correct on that.
But
she's incorrect on the freaking names.
Yeah, it would have taken.
What did she say? What highways did she say? Because I was not paying attention to that.
7586 to something that's not Highway 10, Interstate 10, because I-10 is the one that goes all the way across the country.
What the fuck is 7586?
She's supposed to. I think she means 7585 to 10, but I was like, you can take 7585 to 10 or 20 to 10.
This says 75, 85, and then continue on 85. Take 65 to 10, then 12, then 10, and take exit 47C from I-45S.
I'll find the exact terminology that's used.
You know what? Like, do you want to know how our highways are named?
Maybe it was 80.
Yours are like the
our motorways though. Our motorways are numbered, but we only have like 7.
Yours are like the M4, right?
Yeah, we've got the M4, the M. I don't even know where the fuck the M1 is. got the M2. I don't know where the M3 is.
You know
M4,
what?
M5.
I used those to do Blackwoods because they're monorails, and so it's a nod to Oz. Yes, hello.
We're not even talk about Everton. Okay, so yes. 80, so it's 75, 86 south. That would take me to 65 south, and I'd cut west, and I'd be Houston in a couple of days.
What the? No, none of the fives
Those
cut
interstates
west.
don't exist.
Fives go north and south. Zeros go east and west.
As
That's
Atlanta
basic
natives,
highways.
Like, this pissed me off so much. Because I've driven those, like, I've been on those roads since I was a kid. I've driven them since I got a license. I fucking know the Atlanta interstates.
She and I drive a lot.
Honestly, I will say
mostly to see each other, but like
one thing that always takes me a minute though to like come to terms with whenever I'm reading a book set in the US is how quickly you guys can go through multiple states.
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
Because okay, so with
unless
this,
it's Texas.
going from Georgia to Alabama to Mississippi to Texas, right?
To Louisiana, Texas.
Oh, so yeah.
You'll have to go through Louisiana
and Texas. Yeah, I missed that on the map. So that's what 1, 2,
12
3,
hours?
5 states. Although, if you actually know, if you decide to take a slight detour, you could also pass through Florida and add an extra hour to the drive. So in the span of 11 and a half hours, you can go through 5 states. And it's like, it takes about 12, like from where I am to like any other state, the shortest, not including Canberra or ACT, because that's like our Washington, like it's just like in the middle of our state, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 12 hours to get to a different state from where I am.
Yeah, that's crazy because, like, from where I live, it's in, like, where I actually live. Like, I'm not there right now, but where I actually live, it's an hour to get to Georgia from where I live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, I mean, like, because we have, like, mainland USA and Australia, that it's not the same landmass, but it's close enough. But we have on our mainland one, not including ACT. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6 states on our mainland.
Yeah.
And whereas you guys have 48.
Yep.
So your states are a lot smaller.
Yeah, they are. Well, see, and like it's
a mess.
And like, because what's crazy to like us Americans at least is like that you can go to like different countries even faster than you could go to Houston. Like that's wild.
In Europe, there's like literally like one spot, right, where if you feed a position correctly, you're in 3 countries.
Exactly. Like that's wild to me.
Yeah,
well,
same.
actually, there's a spot like that in Europe, but yeah, you get my drift.
But I also think it's funny that, like, you know, in England, people are like, you know, why do you guys drive cars everywhere? And we're like, because
quicker.
Things are spread out.
Yeah, like you guys have you guys might have, you know, a pretty decent sized population in terms, like, especially compared to us, you know. But you guys still have a whole lot of nothing going on in a lot of places.
Oh yeah. Most of Georgia is a whole lot of nothing. Atlanta,
yeah, like most of your population is confined to the cities.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then if you want to go, like, trust me, if you've ever driven anywhere in the United States, you know that it's mostly a whole lot of nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. Yep. Anyways, we're 30 minutes in. We're still at the first line of chapter 1 where Drew is stealing a car.
Yeah, so she steals a car. She's a considerate thief, though. She checks to make sure that they're insured for theft.
Yep.
Which I'm like, you know what? I mean, I will say that is actually one thing that I was just like, you know what? That's something that's never taken, at least active, like, mentioned as being taken into consideration in books. You know, like, you know, good guy has to do bad stuff to survive and, you know, like steal a car. And it's like, oh, well, good on you, I guess, for thinking of that.
Well, Mercy does something like that in
Just,
Silence
does she?
Fallen. Because she has to
Oh,
steal like
yeah,
clothes in an
leaves all the
e-reader.
notes yeah, she leaves notes and of Adam's contact information. That's right.
Yeah, like be considerate. If
Yeah,
you're
if you
stealing
have
things.
okay. Advice from Book Club with Bay.
If you're in an urban fantasy novel and you have to steal things, be considerate.
Yes.
And then
I
we
still
have-
feel like Mercier, though, actually probably was more considerate because she's like, hey, here's contact information to get compensation for your stuff. Whereas Drew's like, oh, yeah, they have insurance. They're still going to
Drew
have to pay.
also doesn't have money.
Yeah.
Drew doesn't have a lot of money.
But you
She's
know
on
what?
the
She
run.
also has access to a scholar. And they're fine.
Yeah, but she's
Like,
hiding from the order right now because she can't trust them, but she can. She just doesn't know that she can.
or buy a burner phone because she's probably got an. Oh no, she doesn't have cash for a burner phone. Actually, no, they're like $20. They can buy food. They can
Walmart. Well,
phone.
back then, when was this book published? Let me look. Do I have
Like,
a copy?
what do you think?
2011.
Burner phones
Maybe
were
they were a thing, but they were still fairly expensive. Nowadays, yes, they're $20. You can go to Walmart and buy one. Oh god. Yeah.
like she wasn't
She really published these in like 2 years. She really did this whole series in like 2 years. Yeah, I mean you can because they should have been like only like 2 books, 3 at most, 2, 3 at most. Yeah.
Yeah, like you could tell that House of Night for the most part was released in pretty quick succession too.
Oh, I just remembered that we're doing
like
Die
every
Sisters
year
next
new
week.
pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember that we're doing Die Sisters next week.
Yeah.
Woo! Back to PC and Kristen Cast next week. All right. Anyways,
I gotta need all the alcohols for that.
yeah. I still have plenty of booze for that. That stream's gonna be.
I'm gonna have to go buy some. It's the last
Yes.
alcohol we have in the house.
They are essential businesses, TJ.
I know.
Honestly, thank God.
I saw that was considered an essential business. I was like, of course it is.
That and vape shops.
I love that they were like, that's an essential business. I was like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
People just said he's sorry he can't be here to insert himself into this conversation.
Yeah, no. So I texted TJ earlier and I was like, so is the person gonna be here? Because I think it's really entertaining when he inserts himself into the streams now. And she was like, I don't think so. And I was like, that's fucking depressing. I was like, it's my favorite thing to go watch like Good Week and be like, this person being.
We'll have to get him here for a bad week.
And we'll have to make sure that my person is here too, so it can just be full chaos. Mara, you gotta make sure Stixie's home. Full chaos.
Stixie doesn't participate.
Unfortunately, as well, though, like we're in the daytime. If we were in the same time zone, then yes,
that has to be fixed.
Mara, it's easy.
I can't.
Conformity. You have to move to America.
Conformity.
I applied for the diversity visa lottery and I didn't get picked. Okay.
Let's see. How do we fix the time zones? How to fix time zones?
Oh God. Okay.
You got
all right.
to move here. You know, there's also that option.
Yeah,
look,
but if 2 of the 3 outweigh, then the 3rd one has to conform. Like I have to go blonde because 2 of the 3, and 2 of us have AirPods, so therefore TJ has to conform.
I know, but like I tried to talk to Stixie about it. He's just like, no. I'm like, He conceded enough to apply for the diversity visa lottery because he's like, we're not going to get it. And fucking me was right.
Or just keep trying. Just.
I know, but you have to like get like proper passport photos, like doing your application, and like for 4 of us, that's $80.
For passport photos?
Yeah.
It's like $15 here to get a passport photo.
Yeah, it's like, oh wait, it was, I think like it was like $75. It was like $16 something each. Wait, no. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You have multiple people to account for.
Yeah, we got 4 of us.
That is true. You have many people to account for. That makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, okay, it was about $18.
Yeah, that's
You know what? We have to get rich and get holiday homes.
That's the only solution.
Honestly, okay, fine. I will buy a house there. You guys can all buy a house here, and then we'll just like do a quarter, like every quarter we'll move.
Yeah.
Wasn't that already the plan?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, we'll do that. Because also then we don't need visas because all we need to do is say, I want to go to here for 3 months, and because our countries are bros, and they're like, cool, off you go then. Have fun.
It's only 89 days. That's all we can do is 89 days.
Yep. So we'll just do that. Every 89 days, we'll just yeet back and forth.
Okay. So we're here with Drew and Graves and Ash.
We'll get to be on the plane together, so it'll be less off. Sorry.
We have a lovely
That flight
little
sucks. I'm sorry.
We have a 4-book recap in one paragraph to just show you how little has happened in 4 books. But we have
and no tea was held back that day.
Oh, can I? I also just need to just point out another loose end that doesn't get tied up in this book. Dylan from book 2, like headmaster from Reform Scholar, he gets mentioned multiple times in this book, and I was like, he's probably dead, and that's the best.
I thought it was confirmed. I thought it was confirmed dead.
No, just he's probably dead. That's the most common we get as his status. He's probably dead.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, he probably is. But you know what you do when you introduce a character?
You kill them off properly.
You confirm their life status. Unless it's fodder for, a spin-off series, which there better not fucking be one.
It's been almost a decade. There's not going to be one.
Good.
Does she still write books? Is that a thing?
I'm gonna Google that right now. Actually, that's what I was Googling.
Yeah, she does under Lilith Saint, like the full word crow. Publications of this, like reprints of this book.
Oh, and it's one word. You're right.
Yeah.
That's
Wikipedia.
Weird.
Yes, her most recent book was only 2 years ago.
Well, hopefully that's her last book too.
Yeah, she released this entire series in 2 years.
You can tell.
Yeah, like there's oh god. Like I said, this should have been 3 books. Whatever. Anyway, so we reflect on the fact that she's bloomed and she's like irritated that Graves hasn't noticed. I'm like, Graves has bigger problems happening, sweetie. Whatever.
And he's fucking noticed. He's just polite. Like, I mean, also,
yeah, for real.
I don't know many people, right, that like look at a girl like when she's like finished going through puberty, right, and gone, wow, you've really filled out nicely.
Oh,
yeah,
hey,
like,
you got tits now.
Yeah, like trust me, he's noticed. He just also, when I was reading these, I thought about this today as I was reading, like finishing this book. I was like, I could have sworn that someone had sex in this book, and I was like, oh wait, I think that's just Shiver. I don't know if either of y'all have ever read Shiver, but I'm pretty sure that's a book where she fucks the werewolf.
I've got the book for it, but
I don't think I've read that.
TJ, you want to know who recommended that book to me years ago? Maddie. It wasn't half bad, but it probably could do well as a bad book.
I don't.
It's still pretty bad.
What book is
I'm
that?
gonna look up its Goodreads ranking.
Yeah.
Is that the book one in the Wolves of Mercy Falls?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I have this book. It's by Maggie Stavater.
That's really fucking funny, though.
Wait.
Yeah, that Maddie recommended.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, it's 3.7 stars. So.
Let me just go into my audiobook file because I think Maggie. Yep, I've got it. I have a shiver.
I think it would be a good bad book week candidate because I don't know how many books are in the series. I don't think I've read the full series, but
I've got the full series.
Honestly, I think we should make sure that it's not like boring again.
I think shit happens in it because I know in the first book she fucks the werewolf.
Also bad enough to be fun.
Like as a wolf or like is he?
No. She's not gonna fuck him as a wolf. That's a little too weird.
Well, you'd never know.
I'll probably reread it here in the next few days or so.
Make sure it's like
maybe
infuriating.
Okay, this is the Goodreads summary of the book. For years, Grace has watched the wolves in the woods behind her house. One yellow-eyed wolf, her wolf, is a chilling presence she can't seem to live without. Meanwhile, Sam has two lives. In winter, the frozen woods, the protection of the pack, and the silent company of a fearless girl. In summer, a few precious months of being human, until the cold makes him shift back again. Now Grace meets a yellow-eyed boy whose familiarity takes her breath away. It's her wolf. It has to be. But as winter nears, Sam must fight to stay human, or risk losing himself and Grace forever.
I'm gonna reread that actually because the entire time I was reading this book, I was just thinking about Shiver, and I was like,
Yeah, it's 4 books.
It's 4?
So yeah, it's 4 books. There's Shiver, Linger, Forever, and Sinner.
I think I only read the first one, like I said. How was there 4 books of content?
Okay, so Shiver, Linger, and Forever are about Sam and Grace, and Sinner is about completely other people.
They're side characters in the main series, yes.
So it's
it just needs to be infuriating.
Okay. Well, I'll read it and then we'll add it to the list if not, because I know after. Can we review what we're doing after Die Sisters?
Yeah.
We're doing Vampire Diaries after Die Sisters.
Well, we talked about that on stream.
Oh, have we already? Okay.
Yeah.
That's where we decided we were doing it.
Oh, yes. Okay, so we're doing Vampire Diaries.
Because Vampire Diaries is infuriatingly bad.
Oh, God.
It's so bad. Elena is not a likable character in this story.
Elena, decides that she loves Stefan in, chapter 1.
But she doesn't end up with Stefan, does she?
And, well, I don't know, but I know she's willing to claw out her, one of her friend's throats for, looking in his direction. And she's like, he's mine.
Yeah,
cool,
Elena's like a fucking psycho. It's really amusing.
Oh, I'm excited. Okay.
She's the quintessential meatball trope.
Okay, I've caused the tangent. All right.
Okay. Yes, we have.
Yeah, we're reflecting on the fact that she's bloomed. We flash back to sucking Anna's blood, and then, and this is also the first time that we get the question of do I love Graves? Is this do I feel the L word for Graves? And it's
you're in a book. Yes, you do.
Which also, she never thinks that about Kristoff for fucking obvious reasons. Jesus Christ.
Nobody should ever think that about Kristoff.
Yeah, he's a fucking creep. Okay, so chapter 2, we are in Southern Territory. We're below the Mason-Dixon, in the Appalachia.
Because they're going to Grandma's house.
They're going to Grandma's house. There's a cute moment between Drew and Graves after they have an argument about the fact that accents exist. It's fine. We settle in the new house. She's really mad by Graves because he won't tell her anything. And as soon as he gets close to complimenting her, he's the zip mouth emoji. Because he's you're just resumes doing dishes. He's just fuck that. And then there's an intermission in this chapter, and it's a vision of Kristoff being she's alive because I'm still alive. Because if she was dead, I would be dead because I would kill myself looking for her.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Kristoff.
Yeah, no, fuck Kristoff with a fiery
I
passion.
mean, okay. I will. Okay, so like.
Be careful with your words, Mara.
The last Shifters book, right, that we just did yesterday. Faith had similar thoughts about Mark, like he has to be alive because I'd know if he were dead type thing. And I feel like, yeah, if you're in that kind of situation, like, yeah, if you're clinging onto anything you can. But my God, okay, like with Faith though, like it was more just like trying to convince herself, like I refuse to accept that he's dead, you know?
Yeah, for him. Yeah, for him, he was like, no, I know.
It felt like, you know, he was flinging a cape around to be like extra dramatic. He had to like put a cape on just to fling it back. The dramatic effect, and just be like, no,
she's not dead. Yeah, no, like
he would be doing like the hardcore ballad spirit arms and everything.
He would be summoning air come to me.
But he'd be like, because if she were dead, and then he would drop down to one knee like he was about to propose while bringing his arm
then
in.
I would know about it.
And he goes, Spirit, come to me. Is she dead?
Is she dead? And then Spirit would be like, use your feelings, because if she were dead, you would know about it. And it would just be Nyx like fading through all of her racy forms. Because just so that you know that Nyx is diverse.
Oh God,
No, how it would be said, Bae, is if she were as broken as the old oak tree and into the grave, you will also be.
Like, it'd be a rhyme. It'd be a fucking rhyme.
It's rhyming and cringy, people.
Anyways, so the next part is the part
that
I'm
gonna lose it. Okay, now we're back.
So the next chapter is Addie is a sucker part 1 for this book, because this chapter there was a lot of During Graves in this book, and I'm fucking happy about it. So overnight, Graves comes down to sleep on the floor with her, because like he used to. So he sleeps on the floor in a sleeping bag, and she wakes up after having the nightmare about Kristoff, and he's like, "We're in danger," and then he goes on a rant about how he's getting better, so she'll never have to worry about him again. And then he's like, "I love you, and I'm going to prove it to you." And I was like, I'm a sucker. I know. We all know this.
Spends the rest of this book going, but does he like me though?
I know, and he literally in chapter 4, he's like, "I love you. I have the feels. I'm just kind of fucked up right now."
Love advice from Book Club with Bae. If a guy looks at you and is like, "Hey, I have the feels," he probably has the feels.
Exactly. And so they finally talk about everything, and she's like, "Well, I think you like. I thought that you thought I was disgusting." And he was like, "No, I'm definitely not disgusted by you. Are you fucking kidding me?" And then afterwards, she has
with her going, "I think he's disgusted by me."
Yeah. And then afterwards she has a classic girl freak out of like, "Oh my God, did he actually tell me he loves me?" And then she's just grinning like a goddamn idiot, and it's really adorable. And I'm like, yeah.
I will say, her continuing to go back to this conversation for the next 10 minutes, it didn't bother me too much, because I was like, you know what?
That's
the
standard.
First time your person says they love you, you kind of turn into a gibbering fool for a minute.
And also, and even not for her age, like even at like an older age, you're still like, oh my God, did that really
did the loves just happen?
Hey, really I have good news, because I've been working on this. Since people will be here for my birthday, and if we do next bad book, like next Thursday, which will be the day after my birthday, he will be here.
Okay.
For Bad Book Day. Just for you, Addie.
Yes. I'll make sure that he is here as well.
Huzzah.
Huzzah. Anyways, So after that, they have like daily, like they go through their daily stuff, and she's like, okay, well, I have to plan this. I have to plan like what we're doing now because we are on the run. We can't stay here forever. Like the latest we can stay here is winter. And then she's like, hey, so Graves, how you told me that you and Kristoff exchanged words? What words did you exchange? And he's like, basically, Kristoff told me I wasn't any good for you, and yeah, no, I agree. And she just goes like, fucking decide if you're my boyfriend or if you hate me. Like, I don't understand what, like, you told me you love me, but you won't do anything to, like, initiate a relationship with me. Like, what do you, like, I'm confused.
Which is
also fair.
That's fair because, yeah, he's like, I love you, but you shouldn't trust me.
And he should have just said, hey, I'm going through a thing right now, and just told her straight up from the get-go.
This is when he should have told her he was broken.
I will say, regardless of what you feel about Graves, from day dot, he's always kind of sucked at the communication thing.
I love him to bits, but yeah, he's never, and that I think that's just his personality because of the fact that he was raised in a really super bad way that we see later, because we see how he was raised, and yeah, he was not raised well, so he wasn't raised to be like, I communicate feelings in a proper way.
I mean, yeah, like there is a reason why he was living in an abandoned office in a mall when we met him.
Exactly. And it's been touched on in the past books that his mom was like, would abandon him and was beaten and abused by her boyfriends, but like there is a more like there's a more
picture.
We see it in later chapters. Then she tries to go to town to get supplies, and Ash is like, no. And so she's like, fine, whatever. Toddler in a man's body, we can go. And there's like, he shoplifts something.
Yeah, he shoplifts a candy bar. Yeah, I clicked on something else later, like it was during the reunion scene when he's like, bang! And I was like, oh my God, I get it now. So for those of you who have watched the previous of these books,
I didn't realize that either.
I didn't either.
Ash says bang, bang a lot. And then during that scene, when he said it like, I don't know, it just clicked. And I'm, because again, it's never addressed, you know. And something like that, you would think they would address it. But I'm pretty sure he says bang all the time because that's what he calls Drew because she shot him. And he's, obviously mentally regressed to, a 2-year-old.
Yes.
So, yeah. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where the bang comes from.
Addie, did you realize that?
Nope. And, like if you have been watching these streams and stuff like that, like, you know that I read these as they came out as a wee bab.
As a wee bab.
So yeah, but yes, he shoplifts a candy bar, and then she has to fight the shopkeeper. It's very weird.
Who is also pedophilic, because why not?
Yeah, like I don't know, it was a weird thing. And then
this is an urban fantasy book. We had to insert the randomly pedophilic dude at some point.
Yeah, and then on the way home, she's like crying.
There's always at least one.
She's crying, and her aspect, the owl that she thought was her grandmother's owl, like leads her a different path home, and she gets back to her grandma's house, and it's up in flames, and there's vampires there, so Ash transforms into a wolf. And I wrote down ... fuck my life, because none other than my best friend shows up.
Wild Kristoff appears. Don't walk through the tall grass, Drew, and then he can't appear. Okay? Have you learned nothing from Pokemon?
I hate it. I hate him with such a fiery passion. I hate him.
Same. I want him to go away.
Well, I mean, he doesn't go away, but there is a very, very great scene at the end of this book.
And hello.
So then, yeah, so Graves is also, but Graves is also here, so I'm like, yeah, whatever. Ash is human again, so he can obviously transform back and forth, and then we get in a car together. And then she's like, wow, I missed Kristoff. And I wrote down, don't miss Kristoff, you fucking whore. And then we all just talk. Then we like reveal our plans that we're gonna go to California because she knows I'm in California. And Kristoff and Graves just keep bickering with each other. Yeah, it's kind of funny because they're just like, we're in love with the same woman. This is weird. And Graves was just in a fighting
But then we also
mood.
find out that there's other reasons as well for them to have tension. We find that out later too.
Yes. And yeah, Graves is just in a bad mood, and everyone starts fighting each other. Of like, I don't even remember what it was exactly said, but they were just.
It was Kristoff's. Because they're driving and she's like, are we actually going to be able to stop in time to get some real food for dinner? And he's like, yes. You and I shall have the Mexican, and Ash can have pizza. And I'm like, where the fuck's Graves? Like in this, because I'm like, did he disappear and I missed it? But then, then Drew's like, how about we all just have Mexican, please? And Graves is like, no, you two go on a date. That's fine.
Yeah, like Graves is, because also Drew did not reciprocate her feelings when Graves was like, I love you, I am in the feels for you, and she wasn't like, I love you too, like a normal fucking human. She was just like,
oh.
Yeah.
And then she flips out on them and is like, stop fucking fighting and doing the Nosferatu job for them. And then so then Graves and Kristoff like slouch their seats and they're like, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, it's okay, bro. I'm so sorry. Yeah, like they have their little like apology session, and then they go to a very nice hotel in none other than Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, that's right as well. Because also during the apology session as well, also during the fight, Kristoff is like, I could tell her stuff about you, and he's like, well, I could tell her stuff about you too. And I'm thinking, how about you all just be fucking honest with each other? Like, if the two of you know information about the other person that could be harmful to the person you love, shouldn't you fucking tell them?
But also, like, did Kristoff know that he was broken and not just do anything about it until he actually said it himself? Like, what dirt does Kristoff have on Graves?
Kristoff saw him light the fire.
That's right, because he was broken.
Yes.
So he should have just been honest. And then, like, Kristoff's just overall a shady fuck, so, like...
Like, with Graves, his lack of communication is one, emotional self-preservation, but two, I think he tries to, like, sort his shit out on his own. Kristoff has an ulterior motive with all of his information withholding.
Yeah. Yeah. Horseshit.
I don't know what dirt that Graves had on Kristoff other than the fact that, hey, Drew, can't you see he's shady as fuck? But I feel like she knew that, and anyway, she just needed to accept it.
Don't we all know that?
I can't stand the guy. Anyway, so yeah, somehow, Kristoff and Drew go out for dinner.
Yeah, and then we're introduced to a whole new sect of the lore called the Maharaj.
Yep.
Which is a sect of vampires that can do sorcery and hexes. Sound familiar, anyone?
No, they're genies.
Are those the genies? But they're vampires.
Yeah, I don't think they were, because I know that their half-breeds are called genies.
I thought that they were vampires.
You're right.
She is right. The genies.
Okay.
She is right. Because they were working with the Order, but then they went to Sergei's side.
No, they had a truce with the Order because they don't like any of the Nosferatu. Or any of their kin, but they had a truce with the Order because they felt as though they were the lesser of two evils.
Yes.
Because they were the 16th vampire.
Yes. And so she gets drugged at dinner by the leader of the Genie Boys. And
did anyone else think, like, when she started to feel the effects of the drugs, I was just like, is Kristoff gonna roofie? Like, did he just roofie her?
Yes.
I thought he was gonna roofie her and kidnap her.
yeah, to get away from Graves, which I wouldn't be surprised if he did do that.
But not out of protection, out of possession. To be like, you will stay with me until you love me.
Yeah. Which, I mean, even at their conversation at the end of the book, that's how it feels, where he's like, no, I will be here until you fall in love with me.
Even though he knows better. Because he
Even though she flat out rejects him.
well, not just that as well, but because by the end as well, he's just like, it's him, isn't it? And you're in love with the other one. So I think he's pissed off because Sergei had her blood, and then he drank Sergei's blood, so he got all of her blood back. So he got all of her memory shit and feelings that Sergei took. So he knows.
He knows that Drew's in love with Gray. Drew's in love with Gray.
And he's creeped out by him. I don't know why she keeps making out with him, but because she's creeped out by him. But she's.
Anyways, so she has like some paralysis thing, and then they're breaking from the order, yada yada. He just tells the informant tells him that situation, and everyone's asleep, and she's like, hey Graves, I know you're awake, come here. And he's like, nope, I don't trust myself, bro. And so then they talk about the day they met, which I'm a sucker for shit like that, where it's like, talk about, the first time we encountered each other. And he's like, I wanted to talk to you the moment I saw you because I knew, like, I just knew. And I was like, fucking kill me with a stake through my heart right now. Like, it was cute. It was a cute little conversation. And even in the back of her head, she's like, I know Kristoff is listening to probably everything we're saying.
Yeah.
And I was like, good. And then August shows up. And Graves, so it's revealed that Graves called August in the order to show up. And she's like, maybe I can't trust him. Wait, no, I trust him with everything in me. And then this is when he's finally like, no, dude, I'm broken. I called them because I don't trust myself, and you need to be with someone safe. And I know that August and these people are safe. Because it's like August is Hero. Yeah, it's August, and then Hero, and then our wolf boys, Shanks and Dibs, and Natalie. That's who shows up.
Yeah.
But then Kristoff attacks Graves, and so Drew does not like this. She grabs a shotgun after like August like restrains him. She grabs a shotgun and points it at Kristoff and was like, "I will literally kill you. For Graves, I will fucking kill you." Yeah.
And he's just like, but he needs to die. And she's like, no.
Yeah, she's like, I fixed Ash. I will fix Graves. And he's just like.
And then she's pretty much like, hey, you guys restraining the Graves, take him away. And you hold on the fuck to Kristoff until he's safe. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, check.
And then Kristoff is like, well, would you do the same for me if the Lugero was like trying to kill me? And she was like, I told him what he wanted to hear, and that's a yes. I definitely would do the same for you. And I'm like, no, you wouldn't. You just literally like thought that yourself, that you wouldn't actually.
Yeah. So then they're like, we need to get you out of here because this place is. Oh yeah, one thing that was like hinted at here as well was because then Graves started acting weird and like he was broken and his eyes went black. His eyes are usually green. So from this point on, we have a nice little gauge on whether or not he's Graves or under Sergei's control, and it's his eye color.
Yes. And then Nat comes in, Natalie, and our wolf boys, little Shanks and Dibs, who Dibs is too pure for this book.
I know, but
Dibs is too pure.
And Drew's freaking out when she sees Natalie as well, because like last time she let Natalie to have a fight because she had to get Natalie the fuck away from her so she could sneak out.
Exactly.
Natalie's just like
bad about it this whole book.
Yeah. And she's like, crap, Natalie must hate me. Natalie's like, why didn't you just tell me? I would have come with you.
And then she's also like, by the way, Graves is hot as fuck. And Drew just like, I'm aware. Like, she's also like, I shouldn't be jealous. This is now not the time to be jealous, but like, I'm jealous because Nat is also very pretty. Stay away from my man.
Yeah.
And so we try to leave the hotel. The vampires are here. We're fighting and trying to escape. And the plan is to go to Houston, where the other school is, but the helicopter gets fucking like nuked, essentially. With people in it.
By a missile.
And Kristoff was on it, Nat was on it, Hero was on it. Like there were people on it, and so she's like, "Okay, cool." Where they're all dead. And Graves was like essentially tranked, and like Shanks was carrying him to a different vehicle to send them over to the Houston Schola, whatever. Schola.
Yep. So then Drew's like, "Well, fuck." So then she decides to yeet. So she steals another car. She ain't got time to check for insurance this time, and then she's like, fuck, she's an idiot. Honestly, this whole thing was so stupid because
I hated this
14 hours, right? She's like, if I did it all in one hit, I could be there today, right? She's like,
and she should have just done that.
Do it all in one hit. And it's like, but why? Like, I mean, obviously the plot needed her to take it off, but if you're gonna do that, then make it further away. Make her have to stop. Don't be like, you know what, I really don't feel like doing a 14-hour drive. Like, no, it should have been like, I'm incapable of doing a 25-hour drive in one day.
Especially because knowing Drew's character at this point, she would have just made the full drive.
Yeah.
She would have just done it. Like, there was no point for her to stop.
Yeah. Okay, a 14-hour drive sucks. Okay? We're all aware of it.
Yep.
But if you're running for your life, right?
You'll do
like,
it.
Where the school should have been Utah.
Should have been a little bit more.
Why just because that looks like it's about double the distance.
So it was like more of a 24-hour drive. Like it should have just been a full day's drive. So that way she had to spend one night, split it up 12-hour days. That's what it should have been. But we're in Alabama.
Like she could have freaking made it there by 9 p.m., but she didn't.
Yeah. So we stop in Alabama, then we stop in Mississippi. This is when I realized that the interstates were wrong, and I raged, like a little motherfucker. She has a dream about Kristoff and her dad, where Kristoff drags him into a room, and then there's just a gunshot. So, spoiler alert: Kristoff was a witness. Essentially witness adjacent at like most.
He was semi-present when her dad
for her father's death, which is one of the biggest reasons why she's like, nope, we're not going to fuck with Kristoff anymore. So then she gets in the hex fight.
Yeah, because she wards her room before she goes to bed every night.
Yeah.
So she wards her room that night, and she wakes up. And someone's attacking the wards, and she's like, what the fuck? And she's like, they're unraveling. And she's like, I could hex them, but maybe they'll throw the hex back onto me. I don't know. And then two random Ginny appear, and they're like, a hex. And she's like, I know it, deflect, and kills one with her own hex. And the other one's like, how did you do that? Yep. And then she's like, yeet. So then she yeets.
And then she gets to Houston, but the school's been burned down. And she's like, okay, time to confront the truth. Everyone's fucking dead. There's nowhere safe for me anymore. I don't know what to do. She has to evade the cops, and then she gets kidnapped by the vampires. Mm-hmm. Essentially what happens. Because the whole evading the cops thing was just stupid and took too long. The only point of it is
it's had the runtime of the series.
Yeah. I feel like that's what it was, yeah.
It had
no long-term consequence.
I feel like there are a lot of scenes in this series that were like that. Because, like we've said, this series could have been condensed.
Yeah.
But they just didn't do that.
The first two books should have been one book. The middle two books should have been one book. And I think this one would have been fine the way it is.
Part of me thinks that this is a product of she got signed for X amount of books.
Yeah.
And
she only had X amount of book stories, so she just had to stretch them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that kind of thing happens in traditional publishing,
and it sucks because it should have been 3 books, especially the first 2.
Part of me wonders, like, if it would have been as bad as 3 books.
I don't think it would have been. Because more would have happened in a book.
Per book, yeah.
Yeah.
And we would watch a lot of the fluff.
Yeah, there would have been a lot less, like, sitting around being like, is Kristoff really a good guy? Like, you could have cut so much of that out.
And we wouldn't have had to, like, in a lot of the scenes where it was, like, literally just chilling out in Drew's head, doing nothing.
Especially in book 2. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
The half of book 2 was just sitting in Drew's head and can we do shit now? I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm fucking done.
Yeah, and then book 3 is when things started to kick off a little bit again. And then book 4 was just finding graves. So those two should have just been together. And then this one, like I think this one is fine by itself. Because it's the end of the everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if the evading the cops thing happened earlier, because she did lose some of her supplies, but she had to evade the cops. So I feel like if that, I guess the main reason why she got caught was because she was out of the car hiding from the cops. So I guess that's the consequence from it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like there needed to be more of a consequence because she could have gotten taken any old way.
Exactly.
She could have been driving and then the vampire was standing in the middle of the road and then she had to avoid them and crashed.
And then there's a million ways it could have happened. Like, it was kind of stupid that she had to evade cops to make it happen. But then, so after she gets taken, she has another vision of Kristoff and her dad where we see the part where, like, Kristoff essentially let her father die and become a zombie.
So pretty much what happened was Dad was about to open the door and Kristoff was like, "Don't be a moron, get away from the door. He's about to wake up." And he's like, "You're him, aren't you?" And then he's like, "Don't do it." And he's like, "But I must." "But you can't." "But I must." And then Daddy shoots Kristoff. And Kristoff is like, "Well, that was rude." And then Daddy walks in and Kristoff's like, "I guess." And then he turns around and walks away while Daddy's being killed. And he can hear him.
Yeah, and later his defense for it was, "Well, if I could do something, for the sake of your mother, I would have done it." And it's like,
and then Drew's just like, "Well, to be fair, Daddy did shoot him."
No.
And it's like, no, you don't get to have a boner for my mother for like 2 decades, and then have a boner for me, and then expect
which
me
is
to
exactly what she
you're
said.
just like, yeah, but then you just watch my daddy go, like my dad, who is like,
then you let my dad die.
You're just like, I guess he can die then. No, you should have died trying to save him if you really loved my mother that much.
Exactly.
For the sake of my mother, you would have risked your own life to save Daddy. I'm sorry, I'm in the habit of saying Daddy now. In reference to book dads, they are now forever Daddy. Thanks, Faith.
They're just Daddy. Thank you, Faith. Just Addie, I don't know if you know this, but in Shifters, the series we're reading for Good Book Week, the main character calls her father Daddy, even in her own internal dialogue. It's just, well, Daddy said to do this, and it's like, Faith, stop it.
When was
Stop
the
it.
book?
Huh?
When was this book?
That was weird.
Okay, fair, at least.
But although it was still weird for a 23-year-old to do it.
Where was she raised? What country?
It doesn't matter.
Well, no, because Southerners can, Southerners.
No.
Texas. It's Texas, but it's fun. Internal dialogue. It's one thing to call your dad Daddy out loud. It's another to do it internally.
Also true.
It's like, "Daddy, I want a pony." Or it's like, "Hi, Daddy." Those are like the two contexts in which Daddy isn't weird. Or like, when you're sad and you just want a hug from your dad and you're like, "I want my daddy."
Yeah. Okay, so she is in a cell thing and she sees Graves and our big bad himself, Sergey. And Graves is just broken to shit. His eyes are black. Like, she doesn't even, like, he looks at her like he doesn't even know who she is. Like, it's all very sad. And she's like, "Well, this is a sad situation." And then he comes back in later and he's like, "I'm fighting him. I'm just letting him think that I'm, whipped." He's like, please trust me. And he also, she's like, oh God, I'm losing my voice. He's like, why me, Drew? And she's like, oh, you mean that in the romantic way? Okay, I'm gonna shoot my shot. And then so she's like, because you're brave and you're wonderful and I love you. And I'm like,
oh, but then how did she fucking end it?
oh God, no, I'm gonna pull it up because it was really funny.
She even said, like, I started so strong and then I ended like that.
Yeah. Well, because it really does start out really strong because let me find it.
She's clear, she's concise, she's
she's like, because you're brave, I told him, you're the bravest person I've ever met because you didn't walk off when it looked like I was in trouble, because you stuck around even though the real world's scary and Ash bit you, because you made everyone come back to their first school while it was burning to get me out, because you came back the last time we tangoed with Sergey, because I get you. I like your jokes and I like you. And I feel like it can handle anything when you're around because you're beautiful and I love you. Even if you drive me up the goddamn wall with the back and forth of not wanting to be my boyfriend or anything, okay, that's why. Because you're a rock, Graves. You're a total rock. And I'm like, that's the most funny and real thing in this entire thing. It's the most real part of this entire book, where it's just
I mean, when she was like, you're a rock, I was like, yep, I'm still with you. And then she's like, you're a total rock. I was like,
which also, honestly though is like the most real thing. It's like you have a speech and you start out strong and then you're like, and you're a total fucker.
Like it was great. Like I think it was a really good declaration of love because it still fit like her awkwardness.
Yeah. I mean, it low-key reminded me of like the scene in Mercy Thompson where she did her like, I declare that we shall protect all of those within our territory. Behold my walking stick. And then she's like, now usually in the movies they cut scene after that. In reality, you have to climb down off the car and walk awkwardly back to your vehicle.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she's like, yeah, after that I had to get off the car and I had to walk back and everybody was just watching me do it and it was freaking weird. And it's like, yeah, you don't think about that.
Yeah, it was funny. I enjoyed that little thing because I mean, yes, we got the she loves Graves, but it's also like you're a total rock.
Yeah, like
that's one of the things as well that happens a lot in books. Like, when the love declaration occurs, right? Like, it's like if you could imagine your significant other saying this to you when declaring their love for the first time, you'd be like, I'm just going to back away slowly now.
But that one actually felt real.
Yeah, that one felt real though.
That one felt real, and that one felt like something a person would say. Like, why? Because you're amazing. You're awesome. I love you. You're a rock. A rock? You're my rocky fuck. That was going really well.
Yeah.
Do you want pizza? We have leftover. Fuck, I can't give you leftover pizza. I just said I love you. Shit!
It was so good. It was so good.
Send help. And you're just like texting the squad. Send help.
Calling the council meeting saying, fuck guys, I fucked it up.
You didn't copy me yet though, so I think we're fine, question mark.
Oh God. Anyways. So next Graves, like it's the next scene. This is not when this is not when she's like, you're a total rock. Yeah. This is after that. Where Graves comes in with Sergey there and like his eyes are black and he like straps her into a wheelchair and takes her into this like auditorium with a bunch of vampires and Kristoff is like strapped down in the middle and he's all fucked up, which thank God someone finally beat that boy to bits. And Dibs is also here and he has a bunch of transfusion material set up. Yes.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, how I pictured this room was, how in season 5 of the 100, like with all like the like fight to the death scenes, like in the Blood Arena, like, you know, in the bunker.
Yes.
Pictured it like that, but less bloody.
Okay, yeah.
Like a round room with like a balcony, and there's like audience on that, and she's just in the middle.
That's how I
There's a
imagine
spotlight
it too.
down on her.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Also, quick side note: have you and Stixie started watching Outlander yet?
No, I don't know if he's going to now.
Fuck!
I got people to watch Outlander, and he said he would never watch it.
I'm gonna
You should still watch it,
try.
Laura.
I'm gonna try.
You have to get conformity.
You know what?
My
I might
favorite
have I did Game of Thrones where I started watching, and I was like, please, you really, really, really gotta watch it, and then I'll bug him, and then I'll rewatch season 1 with him, and then we'll go from there. We'll see how it goes.
Cool. As long as you watch it.
But I forewarned him of the thing you told me to forewarn him of, and he was just like, yeah, nah, I'm done.
That's because that's what most guys are like. Yeah, I can't do this anymore after they see that scene.
Yeah, no, I will tell you why after stream.
Okay.
It's not necessarily because of that. He thinks that there's ulterior motives behind the scene.
And I'll tell him why he's wrong. Okay. So
Yes.
Dibs is also here because he has medical training, and there's like a transfusion setup thing, and Sergey is like, Dibs, do it. And Dibs is like, no. And not Grace. Drew is like, do you want to fucking die? Do it. It's okay. I promise you it's okay. Just do it. We'll bide our time and get the fuck out of here.
I do have a question about this whole thing, though. Okay, and again, I know why they did it for plot purposes. Because she had to be weakened so she could do a thing and then could escape, right? But she's escaped from Sergey how many times now? Okay. This guy's been around for like centuries. He knows better. He's like, once bitten, twice shy, third time's the fucking charm, you know? So why is he like, because he's not drinking her blood all in one go, right? And like baggies keep.
Well, 'cause he
Little bag is
can't.
blood keep. But little bag is a blood keep.
Yes.
You know, there's blood banks. So why didn't he just drain her all? And then like just have her blood in a fridge?
I think it was a torture thing.
Well, I
I think
torture
it's a torture thing. I don't know. Maybe because of vendetta.
I think because of Christoph. I think he wanted to draw it out because of Christoph. But also it's like, bitch has escaped twice now.
Yeah, I don't think I'd risk it. I think I would just drain her entire body. Like if I was the villain in this, like, no, don't fuck around with that. Don't risk that.
And Sergey is smart enough to know this because, again, he's been the king of vampires for centuries. Like
plot armor.
Yeah.
And so
so they take some of her blood. Some.
Yeah, he takes enough of it to make her weak. And then she has like an out of body experience about the whole thing where we watch it, and then later Dibs is with her and like, please wake up, please. Like I couldn't smell you anymore. I was so terrified. And then Graves comes in and Dibs just fucking yeets and jumps on him and
we're like, go Dibs. And like, because we also know that Graves is Graves now. He's not like not Graves. But we're also like, oh, bless Dibs.
I know, I love Dibs. Dibs is super.
You're a good boy.
Dibs is a good little boy. And he's brought her stuff to her, and he's like, okay, so here's the plan. You're gonna suck me. Then you're gonna get out of here. And then I'm gonna fuck off. Porque no los dos. I'm going to fuck off as far away as I can and fix myself, and then come back to you while you are safe with the order. And she's like, I can't. And he's trying to be all cute about it. And she's like, no, dude, I don't think you get it. I'm not going to suck your blood. And then he's like,
because like he shifts his fingernail into a wolfy thing and does it.
And then like he's holding her also this whole time, and he has like,
and she's like, oh fuck, I guess I have to.
Yeah, he has like a death grip in her hair, like pushing her to his neck. And then we get really wonderful, sad flashes of his life, and then we get really cute flashes of how he views her. And
so like we get to see the scene where she first sees his home in the abandoned office in the mall, like when she sees it for the first time, and then also when she decides to not leave him after Ash bites him and stuff.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm not alone. Someone's with me. She's beautiful and she's all this stuff. And that, and then even after that, the way that she describes her, stuck in his blood is more intimate than she's ever described any other thing. I think that's why I thought there was sex in this book, is because, it was very, intimately described.
Yeah.
But it's over.
Yeah.
And then Graves is like, so what's Kristoff to you? And she's like, for fuck's sake, really now? Okay. He's a friend.
Well, to be fair, she's like, cool, because she's also like, you and Dibs need to yeet, and I'm going to go rescue Kristoff.
Yes. To
be fair.
And then
he had a reason.
And then she's like, well, he's my friend. And he's like, well, what am I? And she's like, I don't know. You answer the fucking question, Graves. I want you to be my boyfriend, but you don't seem interested in that.
Yeah, she's like, I literally know how you, there's no question how you feel about me now, because I just drank it.
And that also makes me wonder, if he can see kind of a mutual, I guess not, because we've seen Kristoff drink from her. But,
but she finally admitted that she said the I love yous and did the epic speech with The Rock.
Yeah, she tells him again.
With The Rock.
Well, she tells him again now. So she goes over him and she kisses him, and he's like, ooh, okay. And then she's like, I love you, you dumb fuck. I have always loved you. You're it. I'm leaving.
Except for when she makes out with apple pie, etc.
Yeah. But then Kristoff does kiss her later, and she's like, oh god. Yeah. And then so she's fighting. She releases Kristoff. They fight. Sergei's here. We're fighting him. We have flashbacks of everyone we've met the entire book series of this is for you, this is for you, this is for everyone he's ever fucked over.
Roll call.
And then roll call. I do love a good roll call though.
A good roll call is always good.
I do love a good roll call. And then so Kristoff has a pike in dear old dad's back, and then he tries to bite dear old dad, and then Drew's like, no, and then he does it anyways.
I have headphone issues again. Give me a sec.
Because God knows why. I don't know why he decided to bite his father. What's the rationale of biting your father?
One, to get, I think, his strength back, and two, to get Drew's blood back.
Oh.
To get back.
But also, it's kind of weird.
I don't really understand the vampire mechanics in this universe.
Yeah.
What?
But she cuts his head off.
Yeah. Wait, can he? So because he drank her blood, Kristoff can spit up her blood back into her body?
Yeah, they transfused it.
No, because he's also a Dampier.
No.
So he has the same strength that he can put back into her. But you do retain the memories, I guess, of the people you drank before.
Yeah.
And then she hears gunfire. He kisses her, whatever, and he's like, "I want to be your man." And she's like, "Really? Not right now, dude. That was not the fun. Let's get out of here. Now's not the time for this." And then he's like, "You're right. Now is not the time for this." Ash is here. Nat is here. Hero is here. Everyone's hugging. Everything's great. And then she passes out.
Also, effectively, for those of you who were here for the last conversation we had about the creepiness of Kristoff's emotions for Drew, we have a meme.
Oh, we have a meme?
That Bay needs to click on the screen share. Oh, that's...
That's perfect. That's a perfect meme.
Right? That is actually Kristoff's emotion towards Drew.
Yes. So we have an out-of-body experience where she's like, I don't really want to go back into my body. I'm fine. And we see Kristoff being drain every last drop of me, transfuse my blood into hers. I want to die. All this stuff like that. And everyone's like, no, stop him. And then Hero is like, no. Let the fucker die. I don't give a shit. while Graves is just like holding her, and like it's a lot happening.
Well, you know what? Hero was more like he's earned the right to die this way if he chooses to. And I'm just like, why isn't anyone else just saying die, motherfucker, die?
Well, yeah, why are we the only ones that like, thank God, please die?
Yeah, I don't know why everybody wasn't just like, just let him, just let it happen.
Fuck this guy. And then also throughout this, she's like hearing her mother's voice, like, Drew, it's not your time, like, go back, I love you, like all this stuff, and she's like deeply upset by this.
I want my mommy.
Yeah, she's like, no, I want my mom. But then she goes back in her body and then wakes up in her mother's room in the school. She looks at herself, Nat's here, and Drew's like, where is everyone? And she's like, roll call. And then Drew's like, but you didn't tell me where Graves was. And she's like, oh yeah, because Graves left. What did I say? Oh,
He's already be gone.
so Drew just fucking runs out of there.
I'll say, kind of a dick move, Graves.
Yeah, no, I fucking agree. So she yeets out of there, catches him just in time. They have a talk. He's going on a retreat to fix himself because he's broken. And
she's like, I'm not broken anymore. Sergey's dead and stuff. And he's like, look, I might not be like broken anymore, but I'm still kind of fucked up from it. Just so you know.
Also, the way they were talking about it, at least the way Nat talked about it, it didn't seem like the process of him going to quote unquote fix himself would take very long. She's like, yeah, it's just kind of like, he goes.
It's going to be something like 6 to 12 months ish, which is like a long, it's a long time to be away from the person you love. But also, it's like it's not going to take him a decade.
No, it's not going to take a super long time. And he's like,
seems to be pretty committed to it. Like it's like this whole book, like this whole series, his whole thing is like, I like you, but I like you / I love you, but I don't feel like I am there and I'm doing my best to be there. So also he's committed to it,
Yes.
Like
yeah,
he's a strong person that just needs some guidance in his strengthening process.
Exactly. And like exactly what he says is like, I'm coming back. But when I come back, I will be worth you. I love you. Like, I will come back to you. And she's like, dope. Great. And she's just really upset. She's crying. And then this useless thing that comes in at the very end where the sorcerer fucking genies are like, she's one of us. She's one of us. And like literally nothing amounts from this.
Yeah, like her grandmother's magic stuff.
Yeah, it's totally useless.
The genie shit. And they're like the one that poisoned her and the one that tried to hex her and shit, like they're like groveling at her feet, being like, please forgive us, milady.
Yeah.
Because it's also a big no-no to hurt women that can do the hexing in their
society. So there's like a quasi-alliance now between, it's not even shown on screen. Which is after the fact. They're like, okay, well, there's a quasi-alliance between the Order and these people now. And then we go see Kristoff for the best scene in the best scene ever.
Oh.
Just so fucking funny.
Yeah. He's like, I'll be here until, you love me. And he's like, but that won't happen. He's like, it's him, isn't it? She's like, yeah, it is him.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, why? He's like, because you're fucking creepy, Kristoff. It's creepy that you love my mom. It's creepy that you let my dad die. It's creepy that you're all over me. And, like, because you're old as fuck, you're just creepy. Okay, we can be friends and that's it.
And he's like,
she's like, if you're not down to just be mates, then you need to go elsewhere. He's like, I'll stay for you.
Yeah. He's like, is there a chance? And she's like, what do I tell him? Yeah, I don't want to like be a cunt, but like also, sure, I have no idea if there's a chance. And he's like, I will wait forever for you, madam.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Kristoff.
And he's
Make
like,
a goddamn hint.
And in her entire dialogue, she's like, I just rejected him. Why is he being nice to me? Like, I just told him I would never like him because of X, Y, and Z.
Love advice from Book Club with Bae. If a girl looks at you and says, hey, the fact that you were in love with my mom is fucking creepy. The fact that you let my dad die is fucking bad. And I will never love you because you loved my mom and then let my dad die. And I think that's bad. She probably will never love you because you loved her mom, you're really old, and you let her dad die, and you should probably let it go.
It literally, the exact speech is so funny. Oh God.
Weirdly
it's so
specific
funny.
love advice is probably not applicable, but I just feel like it should be addressed.
What chapter is it? It's in left.
It's when to give up on love advice.
What?
When to give up, yes.
Love
Yeah,
advice.
she
Well, you
literally
know what?
says-
It could be applicable because if a girl says to you, "You're fucking creepy, and I think you should leave me alone," maybe leave her alone.
What she literally says is, "You're too old for me. You're scary. It's creepy that you're all over my mom, and now you're all over me. And you were there when my father died, weren't you?" And then he's like, "I would have saved him." And she's like, "You probably would have because you owed it to my mom, right?" And he's like, and then she's like, "I couldn't figure out if you want me so bad because you thought I could kill Sergey or if it was me, something really about me." And then he's like, so yeah, no, he never actually liked her. It was just
That's bad.
Yeah.
and then the epilogue is stupid.
Also, wait, and then also just like following up with that advice, if you go like if someone's like, "Hey, I think you're creepy. I can't be into you because I think you're creepy." Okay, friendly advice as well. No matter what extent you go to try and prove you're not creepy, you'll only make it worse. The only way you can become less creepy to this person is to just never see them or speak to them or look at them again.
Yeah, just let it go. If somebody has said to you, "You're being creepy," just let it go.
Like, I get that Kristoff has a female Dampier kink, but like, Kristoff, take a fucking hint. And then we end the book with her and Nat talking.
Because that's how we wanted to end the book.
Yeah, not with Graves coming back and her and Graves ending up together.
Okay, yeah, this isn't the last chapter, it's the epilogue. Now,
Yes.
generally, the epilogue to a series, right? Like, okay, Harry Potter, it's 19 years later, they're sending their kids off to Hogwarts.
Yes.
Bloodlines, it's a year later, everyone's gathering up, like, everyone's coming over for friggin' Christmas dinner, you know? And it's just like, hey, this is how our life turned out.
Even House of Night was like, here's months later.
They're like,
everything's fine.
Like X amount of months later, this is how our lives panning out. We're all going off in our own separate directions until the next fucking series, unfortunately.
Yeah, but still.
That's how epilogues are supposed to be. There's meant to be like, you know, like it's just like cementing, like it's like, okay, this is where you think we're gonna end up. Now this is where we've ended up.
Yes. It should have been her and Graves. It should have been Graves coming back and her being like, "Oh my god, I love you," and then them kissing. That should have been the end of this book.
Yeah. But unfortunately, Lily St. Croix don't know how to epilogue. So it's literally still the same day as the last chapter.
Yeah.
That's not an epilogue.
That's later that day. Or if you still want to have the epilogue be in the same time frame as the book, you have it from a different perspective. Like, say, like, you know, in this world, right? Like, there's all of this stuff. The epilogue could have been from hero's perspective or something, you know, to again wrap it all like in a way that wraps it all. I don't know what it would be from hero's perspective, but like, he's in his office making plans, and it's like, yeah, we're estimated to have the Nosferatu wiped out in 6.8 months, you know. Something.
And then he just sees like Drew and Graves making out in a corridor somewhere. Like just something.
Yeah.
Something.
Like but yeah, anyway. So final chapter, not epilogue. Yeah, they're just having a chat. Natalie and Shanks are gonna go on a date and they do their weird girl flirt thing again, and then the series is over.
Yeah.
So that's the series. So next time for Bad Book Week, we're going to be doing Dysisters.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's we're
He's
still
doing Kristen.
And because we're still quarantined, we're doing 2 books a week. Yeah.
Yep.
So we're doing the 5th shift book.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing the 5th Shifter book next week, and then followed by the Dazisters.
Next Wednesday is
TJ's birthday.
It's TJ's birthday.
Yay!
So, do we want to try to do Dazisters on TJ's birthday?
I'm down.
Does TJ really want to do that to herself?
We get to drink and do stuff and we can have the boys here.
Okay.
As long as
that's what you want to do.
my boy doesn't go out of town again.
So do you still want to do Wednesday, Thursday next week, or do you want to do Monday, Thursday?
We can do Monday, Thursday.
Okay.
We can look. We haven't
Monday,
been able
Wednesday.
to do like parties or anything. It's the closest we're gonna get to like joint birthday party ish.
Is book club with PC and Kristen Cast?
Is book club
Dude,
with PC and
honestly,
Kristen Cast?
At least it'll be something we can rip wide open.
Yeah, at least it'll be like us ranting and
You know what?
But we're
You know
gonna
what?
compare
You know what?
the entire stream. We're gonna talk about House of Night. That's what's just gonna end up happening.
You know, like what's kind of really sad is PC and Kristen Cast and House of Night. It's kind of like the book club safety net.
yeah.
It's really it's like, oh, we need to celebrate with the worst thing ever.
But it's fun. Like earlier, I was thinking. I almost said this out loud. I was like, I kind of miss House of Night because we could really just wreck it.
That's the thing is like we need something. Is like for Bad Book Week, we need something worse than this. Like this wasn't bad enough for Bad Book Week.
Yeah,
I think we can all agree on that.
It was annoying, but Kristoff was the worst part of it, and we need more than just a Kristoff to be mad at. We need a Zoe and a Damien.
We need to vet
fucking everyone.
We need to vet better because we need something worse than this for Bad Book Week. Because the Covenant series worked for bad books. There was a lot to talk about.
Oh, even the last Jenny series we did was.
The Jenny books work for Jenny works for Bad Book Week. This didn't work so well, which now we know. The Cruel Prince worked for Bad Book Week.
Yeah. Well, honestly, as well, we still do have all of the freaking just PC Cast catalog as well. We got them.
I know we have the Fallen series up, but one of us needs to go through it and make sure it's bad enough.
I've read it and I can't
because I know I've read it, but I can't remember if it's quite bad enough for us to rip it apart.
Okay, well, I'll put it this way. The first book starts off with her going to a fucking juvie high school with a bunch of fallen angels. And her best friend's name is Pennyweather.
I think we can work with that.
So, and then there's the freaking plot twist right at the end of the series. So, I think we're good.
Okay.
I think we're good on that front.
We just need to make sure it's worse than this. This just wasn't bad enough.
Yeah, I remember it being bad.
I don't know if I could say that it's necessarily worse, but there's a lot more to make fun of.
That's what we need. We need something to make fun of. This doesn't have enough to make fun of.
Yeah, because it should have been $3.
She goes to juvie with fallen angels.
That's wonderful.
I remember there being a lot of cringe in that one. So, in any case, we guys will see you guys next week on Monday and Wednesday. So yeah, with that in mind, bye guys.